Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to my channel. For those of you who are new, my name is Jonathan. I'm a spiritual guide, a healer, and a medium. And to my returning subscribers, welcome back, my friends. Welcome back. In today's video, I want to talk about why you should let go of the how when wanting to manifest and instead focus on this. Let's get started. This is something that I struggled with when I first had my initial awakening and I started to discover the law of attraction as far as beginning to attract what my heart desires. But what I was doing was always trying to focus on as far as how am I going to attract this new career as an example. How am I going to get this car? How am I going to purchase this home? How am I going to attract my soulmate? I was always trying to figure out each and every single stage as far as how I was going to be able to bring them forth. But by doing this, I was limiting the amounts of ways which God, which the universe can bring forth my manifestation. Therefore, I was literally blocking myself from receiving them because I was only viewing as I have to act a certain way. I have to take certain action. This is the only path that I should be taking as far as bringing forth my manifestation. But along the way, I was able to let go of the how. And instead, I really started to look inwards as far as not just the big manifestation, but looking inwards as far as, okay, which new direction do I want to start heading in? What is it that I'm truly passionate about? What would cause me to have more and more excitement, joy, and fulfillment in my life? And I started to look inwards as far as example, starting to share with others on this channel about spirituality, creating myself a spiritually based business. And then what I ended up doing is starting to manifest, bring forth the resources to maintain me on a certain path that I felt from within myself that it was the path as far as my higher calling, as far as my life purpose. So right now, if you're remotely struggling as far as the law of attraction and you've been really focusing in on as far as 3D reality, as an example, to get this car, I need $50,000. Really let go of thinking this way because it's unlimited as far as the amount of ways that it can come forth. Imagine this. All of a sudden, there's a certain type of car that you desire, but all of a sudden, you end up getting fired and now you're going to have a new position, and that new position gives you a car at the same time. And guess what? It just so happens that it's the car that you so desired. You never saw this coming, but you went with the changes and then it came forth. Really start looking at it this way instead of just being closed-minded as far as how are you going to be able to mold your reality into what you truly desire, and start to go with the flow. Just like this river here, sometimes the current is strong, sometimes the current is fast. You're being pushed into the unknown. You're having to take leaps of faith. And then other times it is calm, but then other times, just like the rocks right there, the water has to go around the rocks. You have to take a slight detour, and sometimes it just seems like you're way off of your course. But in reality, you're taking a shortcut. But that shortcut sometimes might require you to go through a certain level of discomfort. Have a certain situation in your life come forth that seems negative, that just seems totally the opposite as far as what is it that you want to attract. But it's during this stage, if you're able to maintain a high level of faith, you're able to continue to raise your level of certainty, your inner knowing, you're going to see that manifestation is going to come forth much quicker. And not only this, is once you start to discover how is it that you want to move forward, what you're going to realize, that big manifestation that you were focusing in on at the beginning, you might not be putting as much time and effort as far as focusing in on it, but by focusing in on what are the immediate resources that I need in order to continue moving forward, what you're going to discover, it's going to begin to have the compound effect, as if you might be putting a lot of energy, a lot of work into something where you're just getting just the basic necessities as far as what is it that you need in order to move forward. But then all of a sudden, as far as the law of attraction, your life can literally change in a split second. All of a sudden, something happens and it literally changes your reality completely, and you start to attract your manifestation. And as far as these energies, right now, over the next 6 months, those of you who just had your awakening the past year, you have a major advantage because these energies coming forth if you work with them, have the potential to completely shift and transform your life in a very short period of time. You might be able to accomplish in a matter of months what previously took possibly a matter of years to accomplish. But it's a matter of deciding once and for all to move forward in the most authentic way that you possibly can. It's a matter of beginning once and for all to let go of that fear of judgment from other individuals and really tapping into what is it that you enjoy doing, really tapping into what is it that you're passionate about. And whenever you're feeling called to take action, to step out of your comfort zone, to do so. And the majority of the time this requires you, an example, to move. When I first had my spiritual awakening, I ended up having to move afterwards because I did everything I could as far as removing all the negative energy in my apartment. But I'm going to be real honest with you, as far as the village where I lived, it was a village filled with poverty. It was a village of only 4,000 people, yet there was over 50 families, an example, that at Christmas time asked for baskets, for the poor individuals. Therefore, it's like literally 10% of the population was living in poverty. Therefore, crime was high, violence was high. What happened? All of a sudden, I was pulled out of that situation. I was removed from that place and I found another place that was more of a vibrational match to myself. Therefore, whichever direction you're being pulled towards, whatever major changes you're considering doing, if you tap into your intuition, if you truly are able to feel it in your heart that it's the change that you should make that change. And while you're taking this quantum leap, while you're taking this leap of faith, focus on that excitement that it's bringing forth. Focus on that love, joy, and bliss that it's allowing you to feel. Because what's going to end up happening is all of a sudden you move, as an example. Well, now you have a chance, because you're now stepping into the unknown. You now have a chance to meet individuals, brand new individuals. You have a chance to start to meet your soul tribe. You might have a chance to bring forth, attract your soulmate, or else your twin flame if you're lucky enough to have them right now here in a physical body. But it's a matter of embracing these changes. It's a matter of each and every single day continuing to become the best version of yourself. Thinking as far as the version of yourself that has all the manifestations that you want to have come forth. What are they doing on a daily basis? Are they eating healthier? Have they eliminated certain meaningless entertainment? Have they started to work out? Are they taking a course? Are they learning something new? And see what is it that you're able to implement now. It's just as an example, lifting weights. I absolutely love it. It used to be that I would work and then I would try to fit lifting weights around my work schedule, where now I've been lucky enough, I've been blessed enough to be able to include it in my work schedule. I literally wake up and it's one of the first things that I do is I work out and then I start my day, and I have so much more energy than before, where I would go to my work, I would do my 12 hour shifts, an example, and then I would go try to work out. I literally wasn't never getting the best workout because I got drained of all of my energy throughout my workday. Start seeing, what do you think your future self right now is doing in order to have all these things come forth? And not only this, sometimes as far as your manifestation, it might appear, you might think I'm just wanting to have this one materialistic thing come forth. But sometimes there's certain lessons that need to be learned. Therefore, that's why you're not attracting them quite yet. There's certain things that you're needing to learn. Sometimes you have to look at that. What blockages are coming up right now? What types of triggers are coming up? These are going to allow you to see, what is it that you need to let go? How is it that you should be shifting your thoughts? How is it that you should be shifting as far as how you see your reality? And once you start to do this, you're going to start to notice things are going to start to come forth much more effortlessly. And not only this, as far as your manifestation, sometimes it requires you to assume a higher level of responsibility than you might be used to. You know what I mean? You might think I'm just attracting this one thing, but you have to remember what changes are going to happen in your life. As in, you want to assume success. Well, now you're going to have to assume the responsibility that it comes with it. So really view things like this. Once you can start seeing it as Everything is happening in perfect divine timing. When I'm not having these manifestations come forth, there are things that I'm meant to learn. There's things that I'm meant to experience. You're gonna start seeing, you're gonna start to flow more like water, and it's gonna help to release the stress, the everyday stress. It's gonna help to calm the mind. And then you're gonna start to notice those divine ideas, those divine guidance. It's gonna start to come forth. Those messages are gonna start to come forth. And now it's time to start taking action. And you don't have to work 16 hours a day, 18 hours a day. You just have to start taking action. Get the ball rolling. And as far as literally shifting your entire reality, it doesn't take 4 or 5 timeline shifts. It only takes 2, 3 timeline shifts to truly begin to change your reality into something that's much more of a vibrational match to you. And as far as your vibration, as far as your vibrational frequency, the longer you've been awakened for, the more your reality is going to resemble your immediate emotional state of being. Therefore, if you've had your awakening, but you've gone through a lot of inner work, you've peeled back the layers, you've healed yourself at a deep level, you discovered your spiritual gifts, you amped up your spiritual gifts. If you notice that example, in a year, you went from a depressive state, a saddened state, to now living more of a peaceful life, more enjoyable life, having more love, joy, and bliss in your life. There might be some lag, but don't worry about it, because the more you're able to maintain those high vibes, it's that compound effect. The quicker your manifestations are going to come forth. It's just, there's some lag, there's some negative lag. But what's going to end up doing is, once you've cleared off that negative lag, all of a sudden it's one after another. But once again, it's going to require you to assume a certain level of responsibility. You're going to have to really have to structure certain things in your life around these manifestations. They're not always just going to come forth and that's it, the work is done. So really think about that. What is your future self currently doing that has these? What changes are you able to make right now? What is it that you need to learn? What blockages and triggers are coming up? As far as what is it that you need to let go? How is it that you should be responding? Because your triggers, as far as your triggers, they come up to show you. It's just to yourself. These triggers, you've already gone through the lesson. You've already learned exactly what you need to. As an example, you now see things from a different perspective. And now you're just being tested. God is just testing you to see, are you going to respond the same way or not? Just to prove to yourself you've learned your lesson. It's the same thing as these blockages. Sometimes they must come forth to show you how powerful you truly are, how much courage you actually have inside, how resilient you are. Start viewing everything that's coming forth as happening for you and not against you. View as far as your future self, what are they doing? Start to implement it more and more each day. Remain hopeful. Continue to let your level of faith grow, your certainty and your inner knowing. You're going to see your manifestations are going to come forth much, much quicker, especially with these eclipse season that just started. You're going to see by the end of the year, you're going to be receiving your manifestations. Well, that's going to do it for the video. If you're remotely feeling stressed out, get yourself grounded out in nature. Go calm your mind and just take in the scenery, see the beauty here, see the abundance everywhere, and then you're going to begin to see it in your life. Well, I love you guys. You guys have an awesome day. Namaste.